Briefers, welcome back to Ashish Reef and to my channel. Long time no see. Here I am again, and this time I'm going to be showing you how I do my water change. Today is the weekend and today is my water change day. So first come first, what I do is while I do my water change, I also prepare a mixture of various food for the coral that incorporates reef chili, the LPS coral and grow, the coral dust, reef rides, and the New Life Spectrum small pellets. So I kind of mix these guys all in a mixture of one small little glass here, and mix it up really well just before the water change, just before I turn off my return pump. And once I turn off the return pump, I still keep the power heads going on for the first a couple of minutes. So I squirt some of that mixture of the food after I have turned off the return pump and the water has settled in my sump. I go ahead and squirt the food into the aquarium, including my frac tank as well as my display, and then I let the coral gets kind of the food, the feeding sensation on them get going, and after that I completely turn off all the flow in my display, including the power heads. So there's no flow whatsoever. You could see from the torches, they are literally, there's no flow. And then I squirt the remaining of the food all over the tank. So what this does is the initial feeding kind of excites the feeding sensation in them, so the tentacle starts coming up, as you can see from my lobo around here. He's all puffed up and ready to he's already eating. Same thing with this guy here. If you see very closely, the tentacles are already out. So that's what happens when you first squirt a little bit, and then you go ahead and feed the remaining part of the food to the tank. I do a similar thing onto my frac tank as well, and what this does is it allows the corals to consume the food. If you could see deep down below, here is the Croc Island Scully, and he's all excited. Let me show you from the side. See right there, his tentacles are all out, puffed up. He's eating. So that's how I feed my LPS, my SPS, you name it. It's just a broadcast feeding, especially when you have this many corals. There is no way I can do the target feeding. So that's while I'm doing my water change, I also feed my tank. So it's like two birds with one stone. And it also gives them the time to eat, because I'll keep this display turned off with the flow, and my water change takes me around half an hour or so. So by the time I remove 10 gallon of water from here and put 10 gallon back in, it gives corals some time to feed. What I do is I always have a premix water made, and I make sure I test with the Milwaukee digital refractometer, and I first bring it to zero. So before every water change, I calibrate my refractometer with the RODI water and bring it to zero, and then I go ahead and test the water of my aquarium first. And once I know the reading of my aquarium, which is always 1.026, then again I go ahead and clean this thing up, the vial, and again clean it up with the RODI, so bring it back to zero again. So that's the second calibration. And then I use the water from my saltwater station and test the salinity on that water as well before I add it up to the tank. And once I know that matches up with my display, I go ahead and do my water change, and which has already been done. I have already taken care of that. I should have taken the video of that, but just to explain you the process, first I make sure that the refractometer is calibrated to 0 every water change, and then I go ahead and test my aquarium water. Once I know the salinity on my aquarium water, which is 1.026, I again, after that step, recalibrate with the RODI to bring it to 0, and then I test my salt water salinity on my salt water again. And once that's also 1.026, now I know the new water salinity matches up with the salinity of my display, and the water change is good to go. And after then, I also again go ahead and bring this calibration back to 0 for kind of making it ready for the next water change in the next weekend. So as you can see, you can already hear the noise. The water has been pre-mixed, and it's good to go. I have had it running for almost an hour or so now. The water was already made last week. I'm just kind of getting it agitated, so it's all mixed up again and ready to go, and I'll go from there. The water change, I also go ahead and prepare the filter floss sheet as well to be replaced into my filter socks holder. And the pump that I use to remove the water from this maxi jet, I simply attach the hose and place this into the sump and use this bucket, 5 gallon, just remove two buckets, which is approximately 8 to 10 gallons, and just add the water back in. You can see the maxi jet has been placed into the sump, and just removing the water right now. This is just taking out the old water. So I'll take 2 buckets and then add 2 buckets at the same time. While this is being done, I'm gonna go ahead and replace the filter floss in the filter sock, so kind of save me on time. There you go. So this is pretty much what I do on my water change every weekend. And I religiously stay on this schedule of mine, no matter how busy I am on the weekend or what. I try to keep myself pretty much right on all the time. Try not to miss anything, and if I really need to clean the skimmer cup and whatnot, I do that maintenance as well once every 2 to 3 weeks. And if I really need to take care of any chaeto, I can do that as well. And if I need to replace any GFO, I do that as well. But that's pretty much once in every 3 weeks or so. For now, we'll just go and do the water change. I have taken out the old water. I'm going to take out, trim some of the chaeto as well. And here is the new water ready to go in, and I'm just going to add this in up directly into the sump. So the display is still untouched, and the fishes and the corals are still getting fed by the time. Here's the second bucket ready to go. What I'm going to be doing before I add this water in, I'm going to start the system, and then I'm going to watch the level on my return pump, and this is the level that I maintain by water level at the return section. And gradually I will be adding this water so that once it reaches the equilibrium, everything is set, and I don't have to worry about either taking off more water added to the tank, or it's always good to go when adding the water, you gotta just make sure you measure exactly how much you want to add, because you don't want to waste the brand new water if you add all at once and then you realize that the level of return is high, and now you're gonna end up taking out some water, so you're kind of wasting it. So as you guys can see, the system has been started. The power has been started as well, and they are running their schedule right now. Here's the flow on the right hand side as well, so you can see the torches going on. So after everything, the water change is done, completed, and the power heads are back on, providing the flow to the system. So here's the eye candy for those of you guys who stood all the way till the end of this episode. And if you guys do like this video, do not forget to hit the like and subscribe button. And if you guys have any questions, do not hesitate to post it onto the comment section. Until then, happy reefing and peace.